Hey, everybody, welcome to Functional Yoga Medicine Podcast. If you haven't done so, I highly recommend you subscribe to our channel. It is on iTunes, Spotify, and Google, and anywhere podcasts are offered. So whatever your preference is, I would highly recommend it. If you can just subscribe, and I ask that you leave us a positive review because that always helps. I know that I am unique in my field to really truly integrate and pull all the parts and pieces together so that you can find all aspects of the impact that you can make through the work that you do, utilizing your functional medicine and yoga, meditation, nutrition, all the aspects together in one single program, and as well as business mastery, that you don't have to piecemeal them all together like I've had to in the last 15 years and wasted so much time and money on circling around doing different things. So that's how this channel came to be. Today, I want to talk about the importance of the coaching to what you do, because it was the one thing that was lacking. So much of our education is all about the black and white, evidence-based things on how to do things, right? It's all about the information that we receive. And then the practical tools to give to the patient are very boring as a patient. And even as a patient myself, living with an autoimmune condition, if given those kinds of instruction by my functional medical doctor, was limited at best. And then I had to piecemeal and go to the yoga therapist or the meditation teacher or a psychotherapy, as well as acupuncture, physical therapy. I had to gather all the resources myself as a patient rather than finding it all under one umbrella where we can truly connect the dots for our patients. I know that if you're here listening to my podcast, that you want to make impact and you truly want to serve. But I also understand as a practitioner, if I'm not making impacts, then in the lives of the patients that I serve, why am I doing what I do? Because for so long, for 20 years, I just did what I was supposed to do within the scope of my practice, but within the system, right? The medical industrial complex, it was only limited to the system that was built on. So whatever is billable is what we practitioners do. We're not taught to think outside the box. And I really want to expand your horizon to do more, to be more, to have more, because we don't have to be limited to the income, all the possibilities of the impact that we make. We live in a world, especially post-COVID, where we can reach more people. And we don't have to be bound by the laws and the bylaws and regulations and all the things. We want to be able to help patients, because the truth is, people that are less credentialed than you, people that are less educated than you, they're speaking freely about their really empirical experiences and teaching and making a difference in the lives of their patients because of their own frustration. So it's not necessarily that we have to hold on to our credentials or the white lab coat and to really be dignified in all that we do. And I think that's a common mistake that we make as healthcare practitioners. So with that being said, we live according to deeply ingrained habits, and we need to understand how our brain processes information, not just physiologically and anatomically from what we learned in medical education, but we want to do it in our behaviors too, psychologically, because these days, unless you're able to really connect the psychosomatic aspects of your whole body and mind-body connection and the spiritual, unseen sides, intangible things, then the patients are seeking that answers to their problems outside of your black and white viewpoints that are truly so limiting a lot of the times. And this is why many of us make resolutions, like New Year's resolutions. You and I both know we make resolutions to change, such as, like losing weight, and we have the goal, changing our diet, exercise, and go after the behavior only to find ourselves back to square one by month 2. By February, everything flares off, right? Because we didn't change our identity at the core of who we are. We don't change our foundation. Nothing else comes after that will change permanently. You have to remember that our identity is what determines what we do as human beings. We cannot do who we are not. For example, smokers smoke because they're smokers. And if I asked you, did you smoke today? Well, no, because you're not a smoker, right? So that's what we do. And yet we don't apply this. You will not likely not smoke if you're not a smoker as an identity that you hold yourself, right? And so in the same way, when dieting, and if you're used to being obese, you don't know how to be skinny. So you're not being healthy and skinny, but you know your identity as obese. So no matter what you do and force yourself to change in behavior, you always come back to the yo-yo diet because the identity of who you are is still an obese person. Look at Oprah, many of the celebrities going back and forth yo-yo dieting. This is a psychological problem at the identity core level, the foundational level. In the same way, our patients and clients struggle to make necessary health changes. If you're listening, you often find yourself telling patients to do this or that, follow this diet or that, do this homework exercise or take this medication, but a lot of the times they can't really follow through, right? For over 21 years, I've tried to get my patients to improve posture, eat better, and participate in an exercise regimen to reach their goals. They might say lip service to me that they've done it, but I know that they haven't when I test them. I've learned that unless they are being at the identity level who does the things, right, from that place of being, well-being, then all the doings will only last so long. And I've seen that in my own life as well. This is because we're highly habituated, conditioned, indoctrinated, and have automated responses in our lives. And in order to understand this, rather than understanding the anatomical or physiological complications of our brain, we must understand how it processes the information and makes decisions, which in large part is the coaching aspect. It's simple, it's easy, it's practical and functional. And that's how I like to really address my patients, because I have to meet them where they are. If I speak the language and tell them a highly complicated things in this day and age, you've already lost them. So stop being ineffective, learn the perils or the pearls of coaching, and then develop the skill and master the skill so you can set yourself apart. So remember, we have 3 levels of our brain. There's the most primitive brain, which is the reptilian brain, the emotional brain called the mammalian brain, and the neocortex, which is really the executive functioning, okay? The reptilian brain, which runs our lives at the primitive level based on what's easy, convenient, and familiar, it's at this level that we automatically make decisions. But we think we're making decisions on our lives, but it couldn't be further from the truth. We make decisions before we process our options. We make decisions out of habit. Think of a traffic light. When the light is red, you don't think it's red. You know, I have to brake, and you have to figure out which is the brake, right? Left or right, which one do you brake? And then when the light is green, you don't make the decision and slow down to step on the gas and decide. It's highly automated. Sometimes when you drive home, you're deeply in thought. You don't even know how you got home, but you're pulling up your driveway. In the same way, this is how we make our decisions based on what's familiar and easy, even if it's not serving us. It's not getting any easier in this chaotic world of social media and everybody biting for our attention either. So it's not about all the information. You sometimes have to go back to the basics of how humans think and really get into your clients' heads to really set yourself apart and make true impact. And that's when you can really shift them. When you shift them, that's highly impactful, and you can charge the highest dollar possible for the truly transformative experience, integrating all the pearls of coaching, medical science, as well as the inner awakening, outer manifestation, and ancient wisdom together in one package so that you can be the best you can be, as well as to help provide the best service to your clients. The second level of the brain is the mammalian brain, where it is highly emotional. We take actions based on our feelings, not our logic. Most of you think we take actions based on logical reasoning, but when you wake up and are supposed to be at the gym by 7 a.m. and you feel tired, your brain has already made up its mind for you to keep sleeping and prevent you from going to the gym. You keep pressing the snooze button instead. You go by the feeling, not the logic of commitment, executive functioning, and deciding to do the thing, right? We're subject to our feelings, is why the more we bring awareness to that, we can shift and change at the identity level to start doing. Because really, state of well-being is a default state. Many of you, as well as your patients, are in a state of dysfunction, imbalance. You don't have to feel bad though about this. This is what we do, and this is the human condition. This is psychology. The higher part of the brain is your neocortex, right? The third part, the executive part of your brain, where it makes analytical decisions and it plans based on logic and your goals. But we don't use this part of the brain very much. We're not as smart as we think, right? So the whole idea is to really utilize this aspect. So to understand human behavior and to shift your clients from unhealthy to healthy, you must learn the tendencies of human behavior and learn the tools to coach them through to shift them at the foundation, which is truly their identity. You have to make them be aware of this idea so that they can have an aha moment to shift into being the person that they need to be and stop using the broken model of doing, and then reverting back to their default state, which is imbalanced. Remember, in our functional yoga medicine program, we use the alkaline methodology as a tool to bring awareness from the inside out. I believe you as the practitioner, need to go through our own transformation or your own transformation to deeply understand how to apply the method. Because there's a stark difference between really understanding information and have an inner knowing for the transformation. So if you go through it and you go through all the obstacles that come your way with your brain and managing your brain and really getting mind-body connected, that's when you can truly lead your patients through and predict their obstacles ahead of time. So your patients have a lot more confidence in your ability to guide them towards their goals. So I just want to briefly just share our alkaline methodology, which has 4 elements and 3 pillars in each of the elements. Number 1 process is really recognizing your inner awakening. And it has 3 pillars. The first pillar is foundation, the identity that they hold or you hold, as well as the limiting beliefs that you believe into. Because chances are it's deeply conditioned and indoctrinated, and it was taught by your parents. Because in life, from when we were really young, we are domesticated. We are indoctrinated to be a certain way. You never really know who you are on the inside. That's why as grown-ups, as adults, most people are so lost because they've lived their life according to what they were told to do rather than think outside of their box, right? And that's why the neocortex has not been used. Everything's been automated without question. And it's time to question your foundation, identity, and belief. But first, we have to be aware of them, because chances are from that place, you're in alignment with whatever limiting beliefs and the identity and the foundation that you hold for yourself. And unless we shift that and align yourself, nothing else will shift. And then the third pillar in the inner awakening is really getting clear on your core values, what's truly important to you. Not what other people say it's important, but what you consider to be truly important for you. The second element of FYM methodology as a tool that you can use is outer manifestation. Number one pillar under outer manifestation, because whatever inner thing that we are being comes out and we manifest whatever it is that's going on the inside. So first pillar is polarity. We have to understand that in life, it's a spectrum. There's no black or white, right or wrong. There is a spectrum of yin and yang, right? And really understanding sometimes we have to experience the negative to feel the positive. Sadness goes with joy and happiness, and that life offers the full rainbow, the shades of the rainbow, and really fully embracing that is a tool, right? And then the second pillar of the outer manifestation involves your breath and your presence through the practice of yoga and meditation and all the things and being present in the moment. And the third pillar is all about, at the end of the day, balance, coming back to self and cultivating self-love as the first ingredient, because a lot of people are self-punishing and they're in a state of self-betrayal, self-loathing that keeps them from doing the thing that they need to be, right? Being really allows you to truly love yourself. And it's not something that we learn because we've been highly criticized by the world, our parents. We're always graded on our grades, and we believe and buy into unworthiness for most of us, okay? The third element is modern medicine, where I pull together the stress brain, the hypopituitary, adrenal, thyroid, gonadal axes. It's the whole endocrine system, how that impacts the inflammation, and that triggers everything, needs to be learned. And then second is to understand the gut-brain connection, your enteric nervous system, how that communicates with your hormones, and putting that together to understand the third pillar, which is the immune brain. Psychoneuroimmunology is an emerging field. We're understanding that there's a lot of psychotraumatic traumas in the past, both physical, emotional, and mental. And no trauma is little. We need to really bring that up to understand that we need to process these emotions in order for the healing to take place. And that requires you to really coach your patients and clients through, no matter who you are, yoga teacher, functional medical doctor, or a medical doctor, whatever you do and what your practice is, unless you utilize this component, you'll lose your patients. Number four is, the fourth element is ancient wisdom. We utilize yoga, but yoga is defined as your opportunity for growth and abundance in our program. So it's not just about physical contortionistic movements, but we pull together your opportunities, and really the self-growth and abundance is cultivated through the practice. And then the second pillar of the ancient wisdom is all about energy medicine, like traditional Chinese medicine, the chakra of the Ayurveda and the meridians of the TCM. We utilize everything because, and then your thoughts and emotions, because everything is energy in our lives. Even the synapses that we make from the central nervous system to our muscles, everything is electrical. So you have to understand that everything is energy, and that's what you're manifesting. Number three, the third pillar is meditation, hypnosis, and silence. Many of us don't go and silence our monkey minds long enough to really understand that we're being run by the chaos of our minds. Most of us are living in a horizontal plane of consciousness. Really need to elevate and really think vertically to really access the higher level consciousness so that we can be wiser through our practice. And we often focus on the thing we don't want versus what we want. And this is something you really need to understand. The fear, doubt, and self-pity is what keeps us in a hamster wheel of suffering and unproductivity. So it doesn't matter what good functional information you might have or how highly educated you are, unless you're able to help coach your clients through their own transformation. In order for us to push through and be more, you must learn and master the alkaline methodology coaching and all the coaching tools to help you to stand apart from the rest and make serious impact. Are you interested in learning about this coaching aspect of functional yoga medicine? I want to invite you to sign up for a free webinar coming up on September 21st at 12 p.m. and on September 22nd at 5 p.m. to learn how you can use coaching tools to up-level your effectiveness in your client and patient care. So the link is below to really get on the early bird list or the wait list. So opt in and we'll let you know when we are ready to roll forward, and that way we'll give you the next steps complete with the workbook. It's a complete training system completely for free to help you to utilize the coaching tools to have more impact in your practice. Remember to subscribe to Functional Yoga Medicine podcast and give us a raving review to reach more people, as well as to follow me at Functional Yoga Medicine, as well as Dr. Connie Jian, where I share more personal feeds and information to inspire you further. I thank you sincerely for listening today, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye for now.